All right, guys. Don't ask me why it took a long time to go to this fragrance. I'm not the biggest fan of it, but I can't deny that it is a mass appealing staple in not just FragCom, but just in fragrance in general. Everybody's at least come across this fragrance once in their life. So I feel it necessary to talk about it. I borrowed some juice from a friend because I'm like, you know what? The audience deserves to hear my take on it. And it is a mass appealing fragrance. So people are out there scooping it up. Strap up. We're going to talk about a fragrance from the house of Montblanc.
Okay, doing it for two. I watch that head move side to side as I let this in into the room. You were on time, let's connect minds. Trying to get into a mood. We gon' be fine. Close up the blinds, no rush. Finish the food.
All right. Welcome to the Scent Bubble. I am your host for the afternoon. As you can tell, normally it's nice and dark in here. It is a sunny day in Arizona, 110 plus degree weather. And the fragrance we have for you today is Montblanc Legend. Man, this fragrance has been out for a while, dropped in 2011, so like 16-ish years ago. Where was I in 2011? I was finishing college. Oof, I am an old man. All right, let's get going on this. I'm going to relive my experience with this fragrance. Again, it has been many years since I've come across this. I'm going to load the test strip up, and I'm going to load up Skin because it's a popular fragrance and I want to speak on it quite accurately, and it's been a while since I've come to this fragrance. So let's let both dry down a little bit. Can I give you any background information about it? Came out in 2011. Let's see. Yeah, it's really just about the perfumers. It's given a 3.95, so we'll just round up and call that a 4 out of 5 from almost 8,000 votes on Fragrantica alone. So it's not the most sold fragrance ever, but a lot of people have bought this fragrance, and I know a lot of you have seen it. And it is nice. It's one of the lesser synthetic fragrances. You guys know me, and with Montblanc, my biggest gripe with this house has always been the synthetic nature of it. Synthetics are used in all fragrances, but not all synthetics make a fragrance smell fake. And that's my biggest gripe with Montblanc, is there's always these either detergent-y or sharp, fake smelling notes that are almost phantom notes because they don't smell like anything in particular. They just add a sharp tartness to a fragrance that is unpleasing. Montblanc Legend, the black bottle, is a fruity. Honestly, it feels like a moderately fruity, aromatic lavender type of fragrance. Those are the main things I get. I'm like, gosh, it's aromatic. There's some kind of fruits in there, and there's got to be lavender. I get this slight mentholic lavender in the background by about 20%. It seems to dry down quite floral or herbal. You smell like a department store when you wear this, not a low class one, maybe like a Macy's, you know what I'm saying? You go into the Macy's, you start to go towards the beauty department, and that whole area just smells aromatic and herbal with sweetness. Very weak projection, like moderate to low. This isn't a sillage type of fragrance. This is just under the radar office scent. Like you find out on Monday, you start work and you're broke because you haven't been working. You need to wait till your next check comes. Montblanc is like if you work in an office or in retail, you will just smell slightly above everybody else who's not wearing fragrance. It's like, oh, okay, he cared enough to put a fragrance on today. It's very starter pack. Okay, let's move on to the next window. There's that lavender. Top notes, lavender, pineapple, bergamot, lemon, verbena. It's very top heavy. Middle, we have red apple, dried fruits, oak moss, geranium, coumarin, rose, and in the base, it dries down to tonka bean and sandalwood. Honestly, I get a lot of that crisp red apple, which I do appreciate because I feel like anytime I see apple in a fragrance, it's green apple. So to see red is really nice. That for that same reason is why I like a fragrance like Lacoste Red, because it's almost exactly like Nautica Voyage. They just switched it out for crisp red apple. I get the dried fruits. I get like a very like slight base of oak moss and geranium. But this is mostly like a very, very light pineapple, bergamot, lemon combo with a heavier backbone of lavender and red apple. Yeah, it's just kind of like a medley of fruity floral classiness. There's enough like tonka bean, sandalwood, oak moss, geranium backbone to this to keep it masculine. You know what I'm saying? Is this unisex? No, it's for men. It's got like a classy, modern, but very old school fougere backbone to it in its herbal side. But because what I do like about this is like the fruity top and heart are soft. You know what I'm saying? Like normally with fragrances like this, they would be dominant in that and like less dominant in the backbone nuts of the fragrance. But this one, you just get faint, airy touches of the apple, lavender, pineapple, bergamot, lemon, verbena type of feel. So it leans more confidently masculine because it's not just relying on fruits and florals for all of its energy and vibe. I was going to say, this reminds me a lot of Montblanc Starwalker Original. It's just slightly more interesting. Like I always say, Montblanc Starwalker is the most basic like office scent. You know, it's like bamboo and lemon or something like that. Bamboo and bergamot. This smells exactly like Starwalker, just a little bit sweeter and a little bit more interesting. So if you've ever been curious about Starwalker, if you want a really stripped down version of Montblanc Legend, get Starwalker. Like if you just want to go almost purely clean linen with touch of bergamot, go Starwalker. It almost smells like nothing. Like it almost smells like a Molecule 1 type fragrance. It smells very close to CK Everyone. And if you want something a little bit more interesting, you can go with Legend. How much does this fragrance cost today on discounters? It's got to be dirt cheap. So you can get 100 mil for 40. That's just crazy to me. In 2025, we're still selling Montblanc Legend for 40. This fragrance you could buy off of anyone for 20, 30 bucks. I mean, 40 is still a good price. But it's so not necessary. Who else is selling it? Can we get it for lower? Max Aroma. So you can get a 200 ml for 60. But you would never want a 200 ml. Unless you're the guy who only has 2-3 fragrances and you want this to be your Swiss Army knife. You want this fragrance to cover all your work and all your upscale casual, and you don't really care about fragrance at all. You just want to, be above average. You might get a 200 ml just because of the price. What's the next one? So the 100 mil, 37. Yeah, see, that's crazy. See, this is a fragrance that just doesn't get the hint. You know what I'm saying? And matter of fact, let me go on my little soapbox rant. So it's fragrances like this Versace Pour Homme, Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue, Montblanc Legend Spirit, Montblanc Legend Blue, Dolce & Gabbana The One, Boss Bottled. It's a lot of these fragrances that still think in 2025 they can charge 40 to 60 bucks for their fragrances. And it's really a joke. I mean, the fact that you have thousands of options today in the $40 to $60 price point that annihilate fragrances like this just further shows me that we're in a time where retail designer perfumery really has no clue what's going on. You are just a few YouTube videos away from never being in a Sephora or an Ulta Beauty ever again. So the fact that I even see them at the rack stores still trying to go full retail, like you might go into Burlington or a Ross and see a Montblanc Legend or a Montblanc Explorer or a Versace Pour Homme, and they only came off the price like 10, 20 bucks. It's like, are you serious? Do you think I'm going to spend $40, $50 for a 30 ml of Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue in 2025? Absolutely not. Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue O Intense? Sure. Dolce & Gabbana Forever? Sure. Harder to find. Regular light blue? Regular Versace Pour Homme? No, guys, we're not going to do it. 20 bucks for this fragrance is where I think you should pay for it. 25 max. But it is a solid fragrance. I give it a 7. Basic, 7 out of 10. Average. Totally average. It doesn't suck. It's nothing to write home about. It's just a slight confidence booster above being fresh out of the shower. You can feel confident, blend in your work environment, whether you're in retail sales, whether you're in an office job, you're going to smell like, again, slightly above the guy who chose not to wear a fragrance. And I think this fragrance can go all the way up to formal. Like if you're in a suit, you spray this on, you're going to smell like you bought the suit out of Macy's and it's got the Macy's smell on it, but it still would fit you and you would still look classy. In the same way that if you throw on Nautica Voyage today, you're going to be so nostalgically average in the fragrance world, but in the non-fragrance world, you're going to be above average. You know what I'm saying? Any season, any reason, ageless. It does have a youthful feel to it, so I would call it like 40 down. If you're a grown old man, I don't really see how it's so light and airy. I just don't. Because it's so close to a work fragrance or a upscale casual, as an older man wearing this, you just seem tasteless, I think. It's like you're the guy who's 45 years old and still wearing Curve type of thing. Yeah, seasonless, ageless for the most part. Occasions upscale casual all the way up to formal. 7 out of 10 scent. Sprays on this, I think you got to go 6 to 10. Really go for the gusto. It's a moderate performer with about 3 feet of projection, and that dwindles fast. But and then no real sillage to speak of. But I think you'll hold about a 2-foot scent bubble for a couple of hours, and you might be lucky to get 4 to 6 hours of solid performance out of this. Let me double check that. Yeah, it's moderate, super moderate on performance and sillage. So 4 to 6 strong, we'll call it. If you want alternatives to this, Coach Open Road, CK Everyone EDP, Banana Republic Black Platinum. Again, I'm not naming stuff exactly like it. I'm just naming stuff that you should consider if you're looking for like a work scent or an upscale casual scent. Lacoste Red. What else? It's tough. Honestly, I think a much better fragrance than this as far as work category is Montblanc Presence, and I have that. You guys have seen me talk that fragrance up. It is just way more interesting than this. Anything from Bentley, Bentley Azure, Bentley Infinite Rush, Bentley Momentum Unlimited, Bentley Black Edition, Bentley Original, Lalique Equus, Lalique White, Lin Sumi. You just have a lot of great options out there, guys, at the same price point, with better performance and just more uniqueness and more versatility, I feel. Yeah, we're in a good place to end. This was Montblanc Legend for Men, and it is legendary status in terms of FragCom because not a single person has not smelled this or doesn't know about it. Do I think you should buy it in 2025? If you plan on having less than 3 fragrances in your life, get it, because you don't really need to be wowed by scent profile. It's great for the work, great for upscale casual, even up to formal. It's inoffensive. It's mass appealing. You definitely will smell better than people who don't wear fragrance, and it's a fragrance you don't have to think about. You could just throw on. It's really nice. But it is, I give it a 7 in FragCom. And I just give it a 7 all around. It's an average fragrance that's not going to do you wrong, but it's not going to do you much above right either. Like, comment, and subscribe. More importantly, turn on that notification bell so you can stay tuned for all the latest and greatest. I drop episodes every single day, multiple times a day. I post like crazy. So if you're into fragrance content, I've got you covered at every budget, every nook and cranny of a fragrance journey. I'm hooking you guys up with tips, tricks, resources, comedy, entertainment, and everything in between. So I hope you guys have a blessed rest of your week, and until next time, peace.